Hello, BookTube. I've got a somewhat abbreviated Tuesday mega stuff for you here, where it's still very discombobulated here at Hyde Cottage. We are dealing with tumultuous tenantry turmoil. it's causing me not to know what day it is, or whether up is down or down is up or whatnot. And that's bound to get a little worse in the next couple of weeks before it gets any better. But there are still one or two things that I wanted to mega stuff you about. The first, touching on NaNoWriMo, I want to give you regular updates on NaNoWriMo. That's National Novel Writing Month. We are well along in NaNoWriMo, a month where you write the 50,000 word first draft of a novel. 1,667 words a day, or as I like to do at the beginning of NaNoWriMo, the first few weeks of NaNoWriMo, I like to bump that up to an even 2,000 a day, so that if I can manage that for a few days, I give myself a little cushion in case there comes a day when I can only write 1,000 words or something like that. And that is what I have been doing with Bear a Burning Spear, the science fiction space opera story that I'm writing. And so far, I've been doing it pretty much every day. So I haven't checked yet, but I must have something of a cushion right now that I so far haven't needed, because for the first time I am pantsing in NaNoWriMo. For the first time I am writing without knowing what I'm doing. Without having everything carefully plotted out, scene by scene, chapter by chapter, that sort of thing. And it's fantastic. So much fun. It is so much fun. It might require a lot more in the way of revising, although I don't think so. So far, I don't think so. I'm being careful. And I'm trying to be consistent. There's a lot of ranging back up in the text when I'm writing that day. There's a lot of ranging back up in the text to make sure I know that I'm not just missing something, because I don't have that written out plot line. I don't have that structure that is going to reassure me that I know backwards and forwards by day 10. I don't have that. I don't have anything like that. So I would say that the actual writing sessions, I've tended to do them this month first thing in the morning. The actual writing sessions are taking a little longer. Because not only am I needing to review what I've written quite a bit as I'm going along, but also more often, because I'm pantsing more often than when I'm plotting, I have to stop writing and just sort of ponder. I have to ponder, okay, well, how is this going? It's like you're playing chess against yourself, because you're trying to work it out 3 or 4 moves ahead of time without working your way into a cul-de-sac. I just think it's fantastic. I'm learning so much about, as dorky as it sounds, I'm learning so much about the craft of writing by doing a story this way, that I have heard so many writers describe in my life, both in interviews and also in person over wine and calzones in the other room. In this place and a bunch of other places, I've had writers tell me describe this process exactly, that I have an idea of what I want, but I have no idea how I'm going to get there. I'm only seeing a little narrow beam of light, and I'm navigating by that. I've even had some authors, one in particular, I wish I could say you know who you are, but he's long gone, who confessed to me once when he was in his cups, that one book of his that spent some time on bestseller lists. He said, we were talking about that book, and I was thinking, well, it had to be X, Y, and Z theme that was on your mind when you started to write it. I already knew by that point that he didn't plot. But I said, that had to be on your mind. And he said, no. I wrote that book in order to get to one line in one scene. he just, one line in one scene came to him, and he thought, I have to get to it. I'll know when it arrives. I can't start with it. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be right where it should be. And I just need to write the book to get there. I thought, I laughed my head off. And all I could think was, what would his fans, I mean, I don't think he has many fans anymore, but what would his fans have thought if they knew that the whole superstructure of that novel that they read, and that 2 of our friends in common reviewed in major journals, was all done to dress up one line in one scene that the writer just couldn't get out of his head. So I have heard many times from many writers that a lot of people write this way, but I've never actually experienced it until now. I've been so prissy, so Jesuitical, may I say, about NaNoWriMo, saying, well, you can't do that if you haven't plotted it. You got to know every detail of what's going to happen. So my NaNoWriMo updates continue to be a very surprise to me. They continue to be entirely positive updates. honestly, in the back of my mind, well, it was a few of you who actually suggested, why don't you just pants? And at first, I absolutely rebelled against it. And I thought, no, that's why we're all friends, so that I can suggest things to you that seem unpalatable at first, and then you can think about them. Or you can suggest things to me that seem unpalatable at first, and then you can just think about it. And that's what is great about friendship, is that you get a chance to do that, to think against your own pre-held suppositions, because your dignity's not at stake. You're all friends. That's a wonderful thing about friendship. So, but even so, when I started NaNoWriMo 2020, and I knew that I was going to be pantsing a science fiction space opera, I actually thought that by the 17th or 18th of the month, I would be coming on here and giving you the worst possible NaNoWriMo updates. That I'd be saying, oh no, I should have known better. I did know better, and I did it anyway. Pantsing sucks. Pantsers are dumb. Nothing's going to come of this. Those are the kinds of updates I thought I would be giving, but no, no, they may still be coming, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Once I started getting this thing in motion, I started getting an idea of how I wanted it to go and where I wanted it to end. And I am now, it's still vague, and things could crop up that would change the shape of that ending, but I still know pretty much roughly what I want to happen. And I'm working towards it. It is, I won't say that it's within reach, but it's definitely within sight. So your NaNoWriMo update is entirely positive. I hope your NaNoWriMo is going well if you're doing it. Now I'm talking only to NaNoWriMo people. There is no way to do NaNoWriMo if you're starting on the 16th, so or the 15th, or whatever date this is. So that was one MegaStuff thing, is a NaNoWriMo update. And another thing is artwork. My great caricaturist has returned. He's done. I wish, like I've said before, if I had prints of these things, I would mat and frame them. They would be in this house. It is such an honor to have someone this talented doing these things just to amuse me. And in this latest caricature, my rice cooker makes an appearance. Look at this. Isn't that incredible? Condi has made an appearance. Condi has been immortalized. I cracked up when I saw that. I think, obviously, being a original Star Trek fan, I think the one with the tribbles and Frida is still my favorite. But even so, that is just incredible. Thank you so much for doing that. And in addition to all of that, we have mail. We have a little mail. And then we'll wrap up, because there's no law that says that MegaStuff videos have to be 30 minutes long. None. So we'll start with this first one. It is from the UK. It is personally sent. I think I might know what this is, but I didn't. When I agreed via email, I did not know this was coming from the UK. Yes. Okay. Boy, this was expensive to do, though, wasn't it? Wasn't this expensive to do? Is it going to tell me? There's the Queen. Yeah, this was expensive to do. Almost £20. Good Lord. You could have bought a book with that. But anyway, this is something that we've seen on this channel before. It's actually almost visible in this video. It is the Oxford World Classics new edition of The Duke's Children by Anthony Trollope in an Oxford World Classics paperback. This is the complete text, because the editors went through. Trollope was originally told, when the serial was over and it was time to make it into a book, he was told, drop a large chunk of words, drop thousands and thousands of words of text here. And being Trollope, he went at it workmanlike and spliced things out. He didn't just drop a chapter here and there. He pulled lines out, paragraphs out here and there, half paragraphs out here and there. And these authors painstakingly restored all of that. So this is the version of The Duke's Children that Trollope originally wrote, which floored me when I found that out. Because I've been reading the previous Oxford World Classics Duke's Children, and of course The Duke's Children is my favorite Trollope novel. And so the idea that a restored text would suddenly give you more of your favorite novel, it's every reader's dream come true. It ordinarily never, ever happens. And in this case it did, and I have the on my shoulder over there, those Martin Library Classics, one of those is this book. But this is the Oxford World Classics paperback that can just go with all my other paperback Trollopes. Very, very nice. Someone emailed me and asked if they could send me this. From Blackwell's. Oh my. And I said yes, but I don't think I was aware when I said that this was coming from the UK. That was expensive. So thank you very much. All right, so we're off to a fine start. I'm going to resist the urge to reread it. I'm going to try to resist the urge to reread it. But let's see what this next one is here. Oh, okay, fantastic. All right. Do I have a pub sheet on this thing? No. These are still coming from warehouses, not from publishers. All right. Well, I don't have a pub sheet for this, but we've seen this before many times. This is the writing duo that goes by the name of Lars Kepler. They write Silence of the Lambs type serial killer, edge of your seat thrillers, and this one is called Lazarus. They're the authors of Sandman, which I really, really liked. There have been a couple of others too that I've never read a book by this team that I didn't love. So let's see what this one is about. All across Europe, the most ruthless criminals are suffering gruesome deaths. Here in America, we elect them to the Oval Office and the Senate. And we just keep them in office. We re-elect them. Term after term after term, even though they say, well, yeah, providing financial relief during a countrywide pandemic is exactly our responsibility, but we're not going to do it. We gave you $1,200 9 months ago, and that's going to have to do. Even though they are attested to, they are virtually caught on camera, trying to strong arm the officials in another state to just throw out legally cast ballots, because the guy they're afraid of in the White House is going to lose, and the more of those ballots might help, I guess. I don't know, one way or another. A clear federal crime, but it doesn't matter. We just keep electing them anyway. But I have a feeling that these criminals are suffering ruthless deaths at the hands of another criminal. Let's see. I don't think Lindsey Graham is killing these people. At first, it seems coincidental that their underworld affiliations are finally catching up to them. But when two of the victims are found to have disturbing connections to Detective Joonalina, Joonalina. I'm probably pronouncing Juna wrong. Probably might be pronouncing both of them wrong, I swear. Some countries. It becomes clear that there's a single killer at work. Still, police are reluctant to launch an investigation. If a mysterious vigilante is making their jobs easier, why stand in his way? Juna, however, is it Una? Is it Una or Luna? Or I have no idea. Is convinced this is no would-be hero. These deaths serve a much darker purpose. Desperate for help, Juna turns to Saga Bauer. If his hunch is correct, she's one of the few people who stands a chance to bring this criminal mastermind down. But Saga is fighting her own demons, and the killer knows just how to use them to his advantage. He continues to strike with impunity, and no one, it seems, is safe. Well, wouldn't good guys be safe? You can't say no one's safe if you're saying the killer is only targeting criminals. Well, I'll find out. I guess I'll find out. This is probably out already, so I'll read this right away. Not exactly a burden. These books fly by. Oh my God. It's like a shot of adrenaline straight to your eyeball. That ought to be on the jacket. It's like a shot of adrenaline straight to your eyeball. Steve Donoghue. Old world hack. When the killer begins targeting those closest to Saga and Juna, it appears more and more likely that Juna has been right all along, and that tracking down the person responsible will force him to confront a ghost from his past, the most terrifying villain he's ever had to face. Okay, so he has a suspicion, at least at some point early on in the book, he has a suspicion about who it is. Interesting. Okay. Well, I have found with these authors, with their last two books, this is the requisite absolutely hideous American cover. I don't know what's going on here. The Sandman didn't have a hideous American cover, but this one, what on earth? If I like this, it's going to be another example of this horrible rondelay that I'm on. It's going to be another example where if I like this book, and there's no real if involved, I'm going to look around on Book Depository for an attractive paperback UK edition. Ridiculous. When I got this in the mail. But I have found with these authors, with this author's work, that the jacket description really doesn't do justice to what's going on in the book. There are really too many moving parts. I cannot recommend these highly enough. If you, there's our team. I cannot recommend these highly enough if you like serial killer thriller novels. These really do take up the mantle of Thomas Harris, who I guess hasn't laid it down yet, although Carrie Morrow was a different kind of murderous crime novel. But they take up the mantle for really smart practitioners like that. Of course, violent crime fiction is pretty common. It's not like they're thin on the ground. But really smart crime fiction always has been, and I suspect always will be, really rare. So, boy, oh boy. I will. This is probably a December release, but I'm going to dive right into it anyway. And then we have a box. And then we'll be done. The box is not rattling around, so it could be just one book. And if it comes in a box, it could mean a very big book. There are a couple of very big books out there that I'm waiting on. One in particular that's the most popular fantasy novel of the moment. It could be that. Let's take a look. Oh no! Oh no! No, it's not. This is just... Oh, how depressing. This is a clerical error. Okay, well... Alright, it's a clerical error, but that's alright. It's also a kick in the pants for me. I probably needed that. This is a second copy of this biography of Thorstein Veblen. Economics wonk. We saw this just a few days ago, and I mean to send it to David Murphy, who used to have a booktube channel, who has a master's degree in economics, and who reads this stuff, actually passionately interested in these things and these people. And I just haven't done it yet. I haven't sent him the other copy yet, so now there are two in the house. There are quite a few of you who are new. We'll give you a little bit of Thorstein Veblen. Was one of America's most penetrating analysts of modern capitalist society. But he was not, as widely assumed, an outsider to the social world he acidly described. This book overturns the long-accepted view that Veblen's ideas, including his insights about conspicuous consumption and the leisure class, derived from his position as a social outsider. And I guess this is a kick in the pants in two ways, because, one, I need to send the other copy to David Murphy right away. I need to do that right away. I will do that tomorrow. Unless it's raining, or I've got a hangnail, or this tumultuous tenantry trouble continues, this turmoil. If it deepens, then no ifs at all. I will send it out to Lower Moose Jaw right away because David in his environs, they're getting ready to lock down for 11 months of bitter winter, so he's going to need some reading material. But in addition to that, it's a second kick in the pants, because now that I have another copy, I have no excuse not to read this thing. It's too tempting. It's very tempting. When you know somebody who really has something down pat, some area down pat, like with David, it would be economics and economic theory and the lives of great economists, something like that. I get a book like this in the mail and I think, oh, well, I'm off the hook because I know who to give this to. Same thing, I am often tempted with contemporary fiction to just say, oh, well, my friend Sam will do that. I'm off the hook. I don't need to worry about it because he'll read it. But that's not the way it works at all. These are new releases. This is a biography. It's not economics. It's not an economic treaty. It's a biography of a major figure. Biographies are a genre that I love and that I read. Contemporary fiction is a genre that I mostly like and read. I can't sign these off to other people. So now that I have two copies, I especially can't. So there you go. So I will. All right. So it isn't any of the big books that I was expecting, but it's still good to have. So we have a second copy of Veblen, and we have Lazarus by Lars Kepler, a new thriller from Lars Kepler, and we have, courtesy of one of you, The Duke's Children in an Oxford World Classic paperback instead of the Modern Classics hardcover. So fantastic. There you go. Not bad for mail. And that ends your MegaStuff video. I am further immortalized in a great piece of artwork. Here, let's show you the artwork again. Because that is just too good. There's Frida and a rice cooker. They weigh about the same. And we also have a NaNoWriMo update, just a jubilacious NaNoWriMo update. So that's your MegaStuff video for today. I'll wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.